What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Isaiah. And tonight, y'all, I'm here to recap the Tennessee Titans Week 3 loss to the Green Bay Packers 30-14. So without further ado, y'all, let's get straight into it, man. And let's start, y'all, with our quarterback, Mr. Will Levis. And y'all, I feel like Will played extremely well in this game. Honestly, man, he completed 76% of his passes. He threw for 260 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. But he did throw for 2 interceptions. Now, y'all, let's talk about that last interception. And I'll get back to the first one. The last interception that he had, hey, I don't even care about that. I mean, that was at the end of the game, right? He was just trying to, find Calvin really down the field. Xavier McKinney made a great play. Hey, it is what it is, y'all. But the first interception he had, that's the play that a lot of people are. You're going to hear them talk about it. Up until our game next week against the Miami Dolphins, y'all, because why? It led to points. Not only did it lead to points, but it led to a touchdown. Why? Because it was a pick six. Now, I don't think it was a bad read by Will, y'all. I feel like Jair Alexander, he just made a great play. Y'all know Jair Alexander, man, he's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. And great players, y'all, they're going to make great play, every now and then. And I feel like Jair made a great play that time on the ball, y'all. It was a hitch route to D-Hop. And Jair, he set on the route. It's like he kind of knew that route was coming. He set on the man. He made a great play on the football, and he intercepted it, and he took it back to the crib for 6 points. Hey, I don't think that was necessarily a bad read by Will. Now, would I have thrown that ball? No, because I feel like he should have been able to kind of tell that Jair was sitting on that route, but he didn't. He threw the ball, and it ends up, leading to a touchdown for the Green Bay Packers, y'all. But other than that, man, again, I think Will Levis, he played really well. I think this was one of his better games as our quarterback, man. He looked very sharp. He looked more poised in the pocket than I think he's looked in a while, probably since like last season. Because so far through our first 2 games, he did not look poised in the pocket at all. But I thought he was more calm, cool, collected today. He was able to find his wide receivers in his stride, so they could, will have opportunity to get yards after the catch. I mean, I just think he was on point today, outside of that interception to Jair. And again, y'all, that wasn't even like the worst read. It wasn't a great read, but it wasn't a horrible read. I was listening to Brian Callahan, his post game press conference, and he said he wasn't upset with Will, for that interception because he knows interceptions are going to happen. And like I just told y'all, great players, they're going to make great plays every now and then. And Jair Alexander, he just happened to make a great play that time. And it was very unfortunate, right? Because it was 10-7, y'all. And then his pick six, it allowed the Packers to go up, by 2 scores, 17-7. So obviously very unfortunate for the Titans, but again, a great play by him. And sometimes, y'all, your opposition, they just make great plays. Remember, y'all, they have great players on their team, just like we have great players. So they are going to, do their thing every now and then. But other than that, y'all, I think Will play fine. I think he could have had an even better game, y'all. But too many times today, Will was like this. Y'all see that look on his face, y'all? It's because he was getting sacked for yet another time, man. And speaking of look on his face, I'm getting ready to show y'all the look on my face, right? Because now I'm finna get really upset, y'all. Our offensive line today was horrible, man. Let me repeat. Our offensive line today was horrible. The only player I felt like today played, fairly well was J.C. Latham. Y'all think everybody else today was horrible. Seriously, horrible. Peter Skoronski, man, our left guard. After Peter, he had a bounce back game last week, y'all. After he had a really bad game week 1 against the Bears. Today, y'all, he went back. He reverted back to his week 1 self. I don't know why he did that. Peter looked very dominant last week, particularly, in pass protection. But today, y'all, he didn't look great in pass protection or run blocking, excuse me. We only had 33 yards on the ground. 33 yards. Now, granted, I know the Green Bay Packers, they have a very good defensive line, very good linebacking core. But how in the world do you only have 33 yards on the ground, man? Especially when we got 2 dynamic running backs in Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard. We can only muster up 33 yards. So Peter Skoronski, he was horrible. Lloyd Cushenberry, y'all, he was really bad as well. Now, we know Lloyd Cushenberry, he's a $50 million man, right? We brought in Lloyd Cushenberry from the Denver Broncos this offseason. And the reason we brought him in is because we thought he was going to be a major upgrade from our old center, Aaron Brewer. And so far through 2 games, y'all, that stood true, right? He was a major upgrade from Aaron Brewer. But today, y'all, he looked like Aaron Brewer. I really thought that was Aaron Brewer out there in the Tennessee Titans jersey all over again because Lloyd Cushenberry, he allowed a number of pressures, y'all. We had today, I feel like the Packers, were able to generate a lot of pressure from the interior. Now, they had a ton of success on the edge, and we're going to get to that here in a second. But, y'all, they were able to generate a lot of pressure from the interior, and this because our left guard, our center, and right guard, Peter Skoronski at left guard, Lloyd Cushenberry at center, and Dylan Raiders at right guard, y'all, they gave up a number of pressures, man. Will did not have a lot of time to throw the ball because, again, that interior pressure was just getting there so quickly. And we really saw that in the fourth quarter when we were trying to make a comeback, right? We were down 27-14. We're trying to drive the ball. We're trying to get back into the game. And we couldn't even throw a downfield pass because why? As soon as we said hut, there was pressure immediately in Will Levis's face because his left guard, center, and right guard are not doing their job. Did not hold up the end of their bark, y'all. And then last but certainly not least, let's talk about our right tackle, man. Nicholas Petit-Frere. Y'all, NPF is the worst right tackle in the NFL. He's probably one of the worst players in the NFL. I mean, we had an opportunity to go down in the third quarter. It was at the end of the third quarter. Make this a one-score game because we were driving the ball, man. Will was feeling it, man. D-Hop, we're going to talk about him here in a minute. D-Hop started to get into a rhythm. And then, y'all, we're at about the 50-yard line. And what happens? NPF, he allows Lucas Van Ness to come around the edge, have a strip sack fumble on Will Levis, and now the Packers had the football. And that just really killed our momentum. When that happened, I was like, yeah, this game is over with. This game is over with because we just had the opportunity to go down and score a touchdown and make it a one-score game. But then our right tackle, who is so bad, just allowed our quarterback to get sacked for yet another time, y'all. Our offensive line, man, allowed Will to get sacked 8 times on the day. 8 times. That is ridiculous. That makes zero sense, especially when y'all consider the resources that we have put into this offensive line. But we're not able to reap the benefits because they're not holding up their end of the bark, y'all. They're not playing well right now. Right? And everyone wants to talk about Will and stuff. And granted, through 3 games, he does have 8 turnovers, y'all. But a couple of those turnovers have not been on him. That strip sack fumble, that wasn't on him, right? That's on his right tackle who could not block to save his life. That's not on him. And y'all, even the great Bill Callahan. We know Bill Callahan, he's one of the greatest offensive line coaches in NFL history. Maybe they're the greatest of all time. But y'all, not even he, right? Not even himself can save this offensive line. Because at the end of the day, y'all, you need talented football players, though, as well. Not just bodies. And right now, we kind of have a lot of bodies on that offensive line. Right? We need better players. Now, Lloyd Cushenberry, and listen, I know I just kind of went off on him. But seriously, though, Lloyd Cushenberry, he's a good football player. He just had a bad day. Okay? Dylan Raiders, though, he's not a good football player. Peter Skoronski, I think he's an average football player right now, y'all. And it pains me to say that because I know a lot of us have super high expectations for Peter, right? He was our first round pick last year. He had a bumpy rookie season. We were like, okay, he was a rookie, but his sophomore year, he's going to really step it up, maybe become a Pro Bowler. Y'all, Peter Skoronski's not anything close to a Pro Bowl level guard right now. He's too inconsistent, so I think he's just average at best right now. And then J.C. Latham, again, I know J.C. Latham played fairly well today. He did have a couple times we gave him some pressures, but he's a rookie, and we know that's going to happen, right? Joe Alt today, y'all, and Joe Alt looked like, the best rookie left tackle, maybe one of the best rookie left tackles in NFL history so far through 3 weeks. Even today, he had kind of some trouble containing T.J. Watt, right? Because at the end of the day, Joe Alt's still a rookie. So I'm willing to give J.C. Latham a pass because he is a rookie. Okay, but these other guys on the offensive line, y'all, really is, Dylan Raiders and NPF, but then Peter Skoronski as well. Y'all have to be better, man. We got to start opening up running holes for our dynamic running backs. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, y'all. We have 2 guys in the backfield that are so explosive, so dynamic with the football in their hands. And we can't even see them do what they do best because our offensive line cannot run block. And then on the day where our quarterback was very accurate with the football and could have had an even bigger day, should have had an even bigger. Y'all, Will Levis easily could have thrown probably for 350 yards this game. If our offensive line could have held up, man, D Hop was getting open, Calvin really was getting open, but he didn't have time to throw the ball. He didn't have time to throw it. And so, y'all, this offensive line, it might be a lost cause at this point. Like, seriously, it might be. It might be. Now, back to NPF. He did get benched beginning of the fourth quarter. Jalen Duncan, he came in and he didn't look too much better than NPF. And post game press conference, y'all, Brian Callahan said that the Titans, he basically came out and said, we don't have a right tackle right now, right? He said that job is up for grabs, which is not something you want to hear your head coach say, especially when we're 3 weeks into the season, y'all. I mean, you would think at this point we would kind of know who our starters are, right? We don't even know who our starter is going to be at right tackle because that's just how poor a play that position has been so far. And so this offensive line is going to have to be fixed again during the offseason, y'all. We all at least got somewhat fixed this offseason. So far, though, it has not. The only time this offensive line has looked somewhat decent was week 1 in the first half against the Bears. Right when, remember Tony Pollard, he had like 67 rushing yards in the first half against the Bears. Other than that, this offensive line looked really bad. But today, y'all, it was even worse than what it was last week. I mean, this was one of the worst performances I've ever seen my Tennessee Titans offensive line. And y'all, I've probably been watching every Titans game since about 2011, 2012. And trust me, I've seen a lot of bad performances by our offensive lines. But this was probably the worst, honestly. It's probably the worst, especially when you consider how much resources, we put into this offensive line. It's not like a couple years ago when we were starting like Dennis Daly at left tackle. We were like, okay, why are we doing that? Dennis Daly's one of the worst players in the entire league. No, we actually have dudes on this offensive line that we either signed in free agency or that we acquired via trade or that we put a high draft pick on. We took a high draft selection on. And they're still not living up to the expectations. And again, y'all, not even the great Bill Callahan. There's nothing he can do. I know a lot of people want to point the finger on Bill Callahan. Y'all, it's not Bill Callahan's fault. He doesn't have a good right guard. He has a horrible right tackle. He has an average, inconsistent left guard, right? He has a rookie left tackle. I know a lot of people just thought because Bill Callahan is so great, he's so legendary that he was going to be able to come in and just fix this offensive line. But y'all, that's not how it works. Because you got to have the talent, man. You got to have players, right? Players that can do their jobs. Players that understand schemes, man. Players that are good in run blocking and pass protection. Got to have guys know how to do those things, y'all. Right now, we don't have too many guys on this offensive line that can do that. Now, y'all, on a positive note, though, man, let's give it up for my man D Hop, man. He had a huge game today. 6 catches, 73 yards, and 2 touchdowns, man. Let's clap for D Hop. Yeah, man. D Hop, he looked like himself on today. It was so great to see him get that touchdown catch. In the third quarter over Eric Stokes, man. I mean, D Hop just showed his strength. Y'all seen this picture? He's flexing. I was like, yeah, D Hop, get your flex on, man. Because you're still, a very dominant wide receiver in this league, y'all. So it's great to see that D Hop looks like he's again back to being D Hop. He looked 100% healthy to me today. And we know the connection that him and Will have, y'all. I mean, they really started to get things going in that third quarter again. If NPF didn't allow that strip sack fumble, I think y'all we would have went down and scored a touchdown because the way D Hop and Will were getting rhythm with each other, and it's like D Hop, you could tell he was like, yeah, I look like myself today. So just hopefully moving forward, y'all, that continues. Because we know D Hop is still one of the best wide receivers in the game. He could be, absolutely huge to this offense. Now, y'all, the one thing I do have to say though is this on a kind of negative note is why in the world though did we not get Calvin Ridley the football more today? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I mean, and I told y'all right when I was doing my Titans versus Packers preview on Friday, I said what did the Packers had a 26 ranked passing defense in the NFL, man. They gave up 232 passing yards per game. And I said we needed to give the ball to Diop and Calvary a lot in this game. Now, we gave it to Diop a lot. Diop had 6 catches, right? He had 7 targets. But y'all, Calvary only had 1 catch. Only had 1 catch. Come on, Brian Callahan. Now, y'all, last week I was upset because Brian Callahan didn't get the ball to D-Hop more. Right? Was he drawing up plays to get them open? Today I'm upset because he didn't draw up enough plays for Calvin Ridley to get himself open. Like, what's going on, man? Both of those guys can have, great games at the same time. It's not like, well, if Calvin Ridley has a great game, that means Diop has to just sit and watch him. And vice versa. If Diop has a great game, that means Calvin Ridley just has to sit and watch him do his thing. No. Both of those guys are great wide receivers, man. Utilize them. Instead of trying to throw it to Treylon Burks, y'all. Treylon Burks is horrible. He's a bust. He's a bust, okay? I know a lot of Titans fans don't want to admit that, right? Because a lot of us are still sad that we traded away AJ, and we're upset that instead of taking George Pickens, who is a wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, for those that didn't know, George Pickens is one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. We took Treylon Burks, a guy that's probably going to be out of the league in 2 or 3 years. Did y'all see that drop that Treylon Burks had today? Oh, my God. Horrible. Horrible. And then yet again, y'all, Brian Callahan is going to draw up a deep pass for Treylon Burks. And I was looking at my TV like, dude, why do you keep doing this? Treylon Burks is not trustworthy at all. Okay? Forget him. I know that sounds harsh, y'all, but seriously, forget Treylon Burks. Okay, I want Calvin Ridley. I want Diop getting the football. Why? Because those dudes have proven time and time again throughout their NFL careers that they can make plays, that they are reliable, right? That you can trust them, that they can make big catches. Treylon Burks has not shown any of those things. So I don't know why Brian Callahan wants to feature him so much within our offense instead of getting the ball to 2 dudes at Calvin Ridley and D-Hop that are proven, that are really good players in the NFL. Not some guy that has, 2 catches down the season? Ridiculous. A first-round pick, y'all. A first-round pick has 2 catches through 3 games on the season. That's Treylon Burks for you. Wow. Thank you, John Robinson. But anyways, y'all, moving on to the defense, man. The defense today was really, 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 really bad. Shockingly bad, actually. We had a lot of missed tackles today, man. Arden Key, y'all, listen, and this is why I was saying this team really, really, really needs an edge rusher, really badly. Because Arden Key, he's just a rotational guy at best, y'all. Arden Key is not a starter in this league, man. He cannot set the edge consistently. He doesn't get pressures. He doesn't get sacks. He's not good against the run. Y'all, there were so many times today. I mean, Malik Willis was just outrunning him. But then there were also times where Arden Key could have made the play. But he couldn't. Why? Because he's just not that good of an edge rusher. When we signed Arden Key last year, man, I think a lot of people thought that we were signing like a Myles Garrett, a TJ Watt. Like, oh my God, Arden Key, he's gonna come here and he's gonna be, the next big thing at the edge rusher spot. No, he isn't, y'all. I think a lot of people got fooled by his last year with the Jaguars, right? That year, he only had 4 sacks, but at the end of the year, I think he was leading the NFL in pressures. And so a lot of Titans fans were like, oh my God, y'all see what Arden Key did like the last 4 or 5 games in 2022 with the Jaguars? Y'all, that was fool's gold, man. He's not that good. He's not that good. This team really, 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 really needs like an impactful edge rusher. We don't have that right now. Harold Landry is good, y'all. But this team needs like that superstar edge rusher. We need a Myles Garrett. We need a TJ Watt. We need a Brian Burns. We need a guy like that, man, that can just change the outlook of a game. We don't have that right now at the edge rusher spot. We don't have it. Right? So I think Arden Key was really bad today, y'all. But really as a whole, defensively, just again, shockingly bad, man. We missed a lot of tackles. There were times that we could have brought Malik down for a sack and we didn't do it. I was very surprised, y'all, that the Packers had as much success on us as they did, through the air. I mean, Malik only threw 19 passes, but he had 206 yards, man. He averaged nearly 11 yards per pass. And we gave up 3 explosive plays through the air today defensively. With the team, y'all, that was on this backup quarterback. Right? And we know Jordan Love is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. If that was Jordan Love that did it to us, I would have said, hey, I tip my cap to you, man. You're a great player. But y'all, Malik Wilson, again, I like Malik. I think I said this on Friday. I think Malik is a good guy. I really do. Class act, man. But he's not, a very good football player. But today, we made Malik look like a top 15 quarterback in the league. He kind of like Geno Smith today. Honestly, he did. And I like Geno, right? Geno, I think, is a really good player. That's what we kind of made him look like. He looked like Geno Smith, a more athletic version of Geno Smith today. That's what he looked like. Which is ridiculous, y'all, because we know Malik so far in his career, he hasn't shown a lot. But today, he played well, right? And give him credit. Give Matt LaFleur credit, the Packers head coach. He was scheming up a lot of plays, a lot of easy throws from Malik, a lot of, screens, read options for Malik, things that he can run fairly well. He didn't ask Malik, hey, go out there, throw for like 300, 400 yards today. No, he didn't ask him to do that. But what he asked him to do is manage the game. That's exactly what he did. And I was just so surprised that our defense made life as easy for him as they did. Because y'all thought we were really going to be able to put the clamps on the Packers. But we didn't. Right? And not only did Malik have success on us, y'all, through the air, but he also had success on us through the ground. He had 73 yards, y'all, rushing yards. The Packers as a team, had 188 rushing yards. They averaged 5.1 yards per run. And this is a team, y'all. This is a defense that's supposed to what? Be tough, be physical, be nasty in the trenches, man. We were anything but that. I already spoke about our offensive line. Our defensive line was not good today. Anytime you allow nearly 200 rushing yards on the ground and you allow the team to run at 5.1 yards per carry, that's not a good day at the office, y'all. It isn't. Not a good day at the office. Point blank, period. This was a game, y'all, where I thought T'Vondre Sweat was going to have like that big dominant game that a lot of us have been waiting on him to have. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. Now, I will say this. He did have times where he looked good. But I wanted him to look dominant today because I feel like this was the perfect opportunity for him to do that. Right? And not all of their runs, were just like inside zones. I will say this. A lot of this, again, goes back to Arden Key, like our edge rusher. They didn't set the edge well today. Even Harold Landry, he was not setting the edge well today. That's why you kept seeing Malik, getting out of the pocket, escaping, picking up yards. You kept seeing all that. Why? Because our edge rushers, they weren't setting the edge well. So I will say that, right? In defense of our defensive line, it's like the Packers just kept, running up the middle. They were attacking the sides, the edges of our defense, which I don't blame them. Because when you look at the Tennessee Titans edge rushers, and because they don't set the edge very well, I would do the exact same thing. Right? I would. So, again, y'all, bring it back full picture, looking at this team as a whole. Today, just overall, was just a very, very, very bad performance. Offensively, again, while Will, I thought played very well today. Him and D-Hop, was hooking up, doing their thing. Our offensive line was bad. We did not run the ball well at all. So I think offensively, y'all, and I'm finna show y'all my grades for the offense, defense, and special teams on today. But I felt like offensively, man, I have to give us a D plus, y'all. I give us a D plus, right? Now I know some of y'all probably think it was A. Why are you not giving it an F? And y'all, the reason I can't give it an F is because, again, Will Levis and D-Hop, both of them did their thing. And because of that, I cannot give us a D plus. When our quarterback did have 260 passing yards, he completed 67% of his passes, 76% of his passes, had 2 touchdowns. And then our star wide receiver, he had 73 yards and a touchdown. So I can't give us a D plus for that. right? Even though we did only have 14 points. Excuse me, I can't give us an F, but I will give us a D plus. Defensively, y'all gave us a D, right? Because again, I just said it. We gave up too many explosive plays through the air, 3 explosive plays. Gave up nearly 200 rushing yards. Give us a D. The only reason I didn't give us an F because in the second half we were much better. And special teams, y'all, let's give a kudos to our special teams. We didn't have a block punt on today. Yay. Yeah, we didn't have a block punt on today. So I'm giving us a grade of an A minus. The only reason I didn't give the special teams an A plus, y'all, is because we're still not, able to like really create slash generate anything in a punt return or kick return game. So we need to get that fixed, man, because we haven't had like a long punt or kick return in a long time in this franchise. Like literally, it's kind of going back to the Mark Mariani days. That's been a long time ago now, y'all. Because I remember, right, that was still like when Mike Munchak was the head coach. So yeah, it's been a while now. So wow. We really, 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 really need to figure out why we're not able to generate, explosive plays in a punt slash kick return game. But y'all, we didn't have a block punt today, so I had to give the special teams a grade of an A minus, y'all. And with that being said, y'all see the title of this live stream, man. The end, I should say that you see the end of the title. Is it, y'all? Is it time to tank? And I will tell y'all yes and no. The reason I would say yes is because now that we're on 3, we're probably going to go 7-10 or 8-9. And I really am not interested in doing that. I don't want to be 7-10 or 8-9. Right? If we're not going to make the playoffs, let's only win like 3 or 4 games so we can get like, the second, third, or fourth pick. I don't want to be 7-10, 8-9, like kind of hovering around the middle. I don't want to be that. If we're not going to make the playoffs, man, can we just be bad? Right? Can we just, only win 3 or 4 games? Let's just do that. I'm not interested in being just an average team, winning 7 or 8 games. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in purgatory. Y'all always said with sports, the worst place to be in is in purgatory, where you're just in the middle. You're not great, but you're not bad. If we're not going to be great or even good, right now we don't like a good football team. Can we just be a bad football team, please, and only win like 3 or 4 games? Because if we do that, y'all, then yeah, it's time to tank. The problem is, though, I don't think this team is that bad where we only win 3 or 4 games. And that's why I would tell you, no, it's not time to tank. Because you look at next week, y'all, we're going on the road, Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. And y'all know the Miami Dolphins were out there starting quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. And today, their backup quarterback, Skylar Thompson, man, he got injured against the Seattle Seahawks. So now they're going to be on their third string quarterback. So you would probably say, okay, that's a game the Titans should win. But y'all, I don't know if we're going to even win that game, right? But the way this offensive lines look, I don't know. Because the Dolphins got some dudes on that defense line. Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips. So I don't know if we're going to win that game. And then the week after that, we have the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, they won today against the Chicago Bears. The Colts, I still think they're, a pretty average team. So we could win that game. But then, y'all, after that Colts game, man, we got a back-to-back games I think we're going to lose, man. At Buffalo and at Detroit, y'all. We're going to lose both of those games. So let's say we win these next 2 games, right? We beat the Dolphins. We beat the Colts. Now we're 2-3. And you're like, okay, Zay, y'all getting some momentum. But then after that Colts game, we got to go to the Bills, game we're going to lose. We got to go to the Lions, a game we're going to lose. And now, y'all, we're 2-5, right? We're 2-5. And the season would definitely be over by then. So I would say, y'all, right now, I'm 50-50 on tanking. Yes and no. Yes, because it would be great, y'all, to just be really bad, wouldn't it? Like, seriously. Because it kind of seems like we're kind of trending towards that. And if we're not going to be a good football team, let's just tank then, right? Let's only win 3 or 4 games. But then the reason I would say no is because I don't think this team is that bad, unless maybe we're just that bad, y'all, and I'm just like I just don't see it yet. even with us being on 3, I still think we're only going. I still don't see us only winning 3 or 4 games. Honestly, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think it's too much talent on this team to only win 3 or 4 games. So again, right now I'm 50-50 on tanking. I did say on Friday if we lost this game, it would be time to tank. And I still believe that, y'all. Like right now, I would say, yeah, it probably is time to tank. But again, are we really going to be that bad? I don't know. Now, if we lose next week against the Dolphins, well, yeah, definitely by then, okay, we're 100% tanking. Right, 100% tanking. Right now, I would say we're like 50% tanking. Maybe 45, 50% tanking. Lose next week against the Dolphins, you're 0-4. Yeah, you're definitely tanking. Definitely tanking. Right? And so, y'all, listen, I know we're all disappointed, man. We're 0-3. This definitely was not the start that I anticipated. I thought we were going to at least be, 2-1 or maybe 1-2. But here we are, man, 0-3. And a lot of Titans fans are starting to kind of close the book on this season, y'all. But my book is still open. I still think we have some chapters that have yet to be written, y'all, in this season. I do think there's a chance we could maybe turn it around. But it's starting to look like, y'all, that the season's over with. Honestly, it really is looking like that. And when I say the season's over with, I mean that because we're not going to have a shot of going to the playoffs, right? I think that's what a lot of us want to do this year. At least have a shot at going to the playoffs. I did pick us to go to the playoffs. We don't even have a shot right now to go to the playoffs. The way we've been playing, and that's what's most disappointing, right? Because all the free agents that we brought in, the great draft class that we had, man, we thought it was going to translate to us being a better team, y'all. And so far, it hasn't come to fruition. But I'm still not giving up on this team just yet, y'all. I'm not. Okay, I'm not. I'm almost there. I know some of y'all already there. I'm almost there, not yet. If we lose next week against the Dolphins, I'm like, yeah, definitely it's time to tank. It's time, right? Season's over with. Everything's done. Again, right now, yeah, it's looking like we're going to tank. It's looking like the season's over with. But y'all, if we win next week, as crazy as it sounds, man. I mean, at 1-3, the season isn't totally over with yet. Right? But at 0-4, the season it would officially be dead. It would be time for us, to look forward to the 2025 NFL draft. Y'all know the 2025 NFL draft, a lot of great prospects, man. Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, Will Johnson, James Pierce Jr., Luther Burden. A lot of great players in this draft class, man. Okay. I know some of y'all are already getting your mock drafts ready, getting your scouting reports ready, but I would say, hold on, wait a minute. It's not over yet. Again, is it getting close? Oh, definitely. Yeah, see, it's getting close to being over with. But this team isn't dead yet, y'all. Next week against the Miami Dolphins, a game we should absolutely win. If we get that, then after that, we have the Colts at home. And maybe, y'all, we could potentially upset the Bills or Lions. Right? And if we were to do that, if we win one of those games, okay, now we still probably have a puncher's chance at the playoffs, right? A fire's chance to go into the playoffs. Now, granted, we would have to win these next 2 games. So let's say we win these next 2 games, go to the Bills, and we get an upset win, then we lose to the Lions. Well, now y'all were 3-4, right? But that's a lot of ifs. If we win against the Dolphins, if we win against the Colts, right? If we upset the Bills and beat them on the road. But y'all, these next 2 weeks are going to be very, very important. Very important. Right? We gotta take care of business against the Dolphins. Have to. If we don't do that, then I would say, yep, this season's over with. And we gotta make some major, major, major changes to this roster moving forward. But right now, y'all, I'm just not quite there yet because this schedule kind of works out in our favor that we should at least you would think, be able to win these next two games. And if we're able to do that, y'all, I think all will be not well in Titans land, but I think we will, look pretty decent moving forward, man. So there y'all have it. That was me recapping the Tennessee Titans week 3 loss to the Green Bay Packers, 30-14, man. Remember, y'all, laughter is good medicine. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm gonna end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.